Development of resources. Resources are vital for human survival as well as for maintaining the quality of life. It was believed that resources are free gifts of nature. As a result, human beings used them indiscriminately, and this has led to the following major problems. Depletion of resources for satisfying the greed of few individuals, accumulation of resources in few hands, which in turn divided the society into the segments rich and poor. Indiscriminate exploitation of resources has led to global ecological crises such as global warming, ozone layer depletion, environmental pollution, and land degradation. If the present trend of resource depletion by a few individuals and countries continues, the future of our planet is in danger. Therefore, resource planning is essential for sustainable existence of all forms of life. Rio de Janeiro Earth Summit 1992. In June 1992, more than 100 heads of states met in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil for the first International Earth Summit. The assembled leaders signed the Declaration of Global Climatic Change and Biological Diversity. The Rio Convention endorsed the Global Forest Principles and adopted Agenda 21 for achieving sustainable development in the 21st century. Agenda 21. It aims at achieving global sustainable development. It is an agenda to combat environmental damage, poverty, disease through global cooperation on common interests, mutual needs, and shared responsibilities. One major objective of the Agenda 21 is that every local government should draw its own local Agenda 21. Resource planning. Resource planning is necessary for judicious use of resources. It is very important for a country like India, which has enormous diversity in the availability of resources. There are regions which are rich in certain types of resources but are deficient in some other resources. For example, the states of Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, and Madhya Pradesh are rich in minerals and coal deposits. Arunachal Pradesh has abundance of water resources but lacks in infrastructural development. The state of Rajasthan has abundance of solar and wind energy but lacks in water resources. The cold desert of Ladakh has very rich cultural heritage, but it is deficient in water, infrastructure, and some vital minerals. This calls for balanced resources planning at the national stage, regional, and local levels. Resource planning in India. Resource planning involves identification and inventory of resources across the regions of the country. This involves surveying, mapping, and qualitative and quantitative estimation and measurement of the resources, involving a planning structure endowed with appropriate technology, skill, and institutional setup for implementing resources development plans. Matching the resource development plans with overall national development plans. India has made concerted efforts for achieving the goals of resources planning right time from the first 5-year plan launched after independence. The history of colonization reveals that the higher level of technological development of the colonizing countries helped them to exploit resources of other regions and establish their supremacy over the colonies. Therefore, the development and resource development involve the availability of resources, technology, and quality of human resources and the historical experience of the people. Conservation of resources. Resources are vital for survival and development activities. Therefore, resource conservation at various levels is important. For example, Gandhiji was very apt in voicing his concern about resource conservation in these words: "There is enough for everybody's need and not for anybody's greed." He said that the greedy and selfish individuals and exploitative nature of modern technology are the main factors of resource depletion at the global level. He was against mass production and wanted to replace it with the production by the masses. In 1968, at the international level, the Club of Rome advocated resource conservation for the first time. Subsequently, in 1974, Gandhian philosophy was once again presented by Schumacher in his book Small is Beautiful. The seminal contribution with respect to resource conservation at the global level was made by the Brundtland Commission Report 1987. This report introduced the concept of sustainable development and advocated it as means for resource conservation, which was subsequently published in a book entitled Our Common Future.